on to the Klansman Gang Trial update or weekly update, and I feel at some point somebody is going to put this in a movie. I feel there's going to be a movie out based on this particular trial, based on what's coming out on the trial. So I'm going to kind of break it down day by day. So on Monday, prosecutors state that they will have to use the court's power to compel telecommunications company Digicel to provide call data records. And they want that in order to part of it is with regards to the recordings that they have in-house. Part of it is to show the times that calls were made and to whom the calls were made and the crime that were committed based on the calls that were made. So they've spoken to the judge about that. They've received the records from Flow. They have not yet received records from Digicel, and they're asking the courts to intervene in getting the records. So that we'll see what happens, because there's 3 particular cell phones that were they have recordings and they have the transcript of those recordings, but the defendant's lawyers had disputed the chain of, what's that? I forgot what it's called. It's not chain of command. It's like to see who had what when and to make sure that the phones weren't tampered with or whatever. So that's on Monday. So we're still waiting to see if Digicel provides those records to the courts willingly, or if they'll have to get court documents to compel them to provide those documents to the courts. But as I say, Flo just say, here, see it here, take it, we're done. Flo no business. Anyways, and on Tuesday, Wednesday, the witness that was on the stand on Tuesday is a former supermarket cashier, and he was on the stand on Tuesday and on Wednesdays. So I'm just going to read a little bit of what happened, what he said, who died, and all of that, right? So the former supermarket cashier, his name was they didn't put his name. So he testified that he was with Demain Forrester, otherwise called Dooley, when he was executed on Chancery Street in St. Andrew on August 15, 2017. The 2 former witness 1 and 2 testified that they were with Andre Blackman Bryan when he ordered the hit on Forrester, who was a bag packer at the supermarket. Apparently, Dooley was murdered because of his affiliation with a faction of the Klansman Gang. So he was affiliated with a One Don Gang, which is an offshoot of the Klansman Gang. The witness, who is now the 12th person to give evidence for the prosecution, before testifying, identified the deceased via a photograph, recalling what had happened on the day when Dooley was killed. The witness said they had worked up to the end of the night shift and was leaving with others to head home at 9:30. He said he and Dooley first left the store and were walking and having a conversation when he heard an explosion. The witness says, while we were talking, I heard a loud bang in my ear. My ear started ringing and I turned to my right. The witness said Dooley had been walking to his right. He said when he turned in the direction from which the bang came, he saw Dooley on the ground and he heard more bangs. He said, I saw like a flash of light and immediately I decided to run back to the store and I started to run. I ran back right inside. The witness recalled for the court. To the amusement of alleged gang leader Andre Blackman Bryan and his brother Kevon Green, who seated side by side, convulsed with silent laughter while eyeing each other. Them not take the court system. What's that? Okay. The witness says, I was in shock, so I was saying to my co-workers, Jano Star, Wagwan, what happened? What happened? He continued. The witness said he notified his supervisor that the new guy was killed, miss. You know, said them shoot the brethren, the new guy out there, to which the supervisor reportedly replied, a lie, a wagwan, and shortly after made his way home. When asked if he had seen the state of his co-worker after he was shot, the witness said that after he saw the light flash from the gun of the assailant, he did not stop to take note of the conditions. Dooley's supervisor, who also took a stand late Tuesday, said the young man who was named the main Foster had been on the night shift. She said that she also heard the explosion after she had finished balancing the cashiers that night, and then was told by staff members that the employee who had been there for some 4 to 6 months had just been shot. She said she immediately pulled her panic button and pressed it, summoning the security company for the supermarket. She said the security company arrived some 10 minutes later, followed by the police. She also identified the victim from a photograph shown to her by prosecutors as her former employee. She told the court that she watched from the safety of the supermarket as the police cordoned the scene and put down markers. The body of her former employee, who was clad in his uniform of white shirt and black pants, was on the ground, she said. At the start of the trial in September, when witness number 2, who was a former gang member turned Crown witness, first took the stand, he had said that the plot for the murder had been hatched at his home. He said that Youth was killed because it was believed that he was running the Thompson Pen area, which was the faction of the gang controlled by incarcerated Klansman strongman Tesha Miller and black man-led faction wanting to move him. Witness number 1, which is another former gang member turned Crown witness, in his testimony in early November, had also told the court that he was the one to point out Dooley to his executioners. He said Dooley, who was killed after 3 attempts, had been marked for death because he was said to be a rival. Oh, Jesus. On at least 2 of the 3 occasions, the witness said he had to discourage a triggerman from shooting in circumstances where innocent bystanders would have been hurt. The witness said Brian was upset about the failure of the gang to take out the individual on the first attempt, quarreling that Uno call Uno self-killer and can't kill one man. He said on the last attempt, which took place the day after the second had failed, Dooley was killed. He said 2 cars with the gangsters aboard had waited until the targeted man left the supermarket that night and was about to board a taxi. Sus pulled out a gun and started to shoot him in his head. Sus was exactly back at him. He rested the gun upon him and started fire, the witness said. He further claimed that when he shot Dooley in the head, he fired 2 shots in the air and everybody started run up and down. Like I said, they will have to do a movie on this particular trial because there is no way when you sit and read, and think, imagine if these particular people had put their talents to legal use. So that concludes the update for this week of the Klansman Gang Trial. I will keep you guys posted next week. We're going to stay in Jamaica.